Thank you, Rick, and let me add my personal welcome to all of you today. It's hard to believe that this is our 7th annual Breaking the Cycle Luncheon. Some of you have been there to all 7, but Crisis Nursery's story started long before that. More than 3 decades ago, a few visionary volunteers pursued their wish that fragile families at the brink of child abuse had an option before it was too late. Tirelessly, they pled their case, hoping to convince neighbors, friends, and funders that child abuse was real and could be prevented. Their dream came true when Crisis Nursery opened its doors, a small cottage where parents in crisis were welcome, their children received nurturing care, and families could be whole again. Their dream continues today. This morning, 27 children woke up, and another 10 will spend part of their day at our children's shelter, a safe, child-friendly place where their tummies will be filled, tears will be wiped away, and they'll have myriad opportunities to play, to learn, and most importantly, to be kids again. On the surface, their wishes are simple ones: a hot breakfast, someone to read a book with, a new pair of shoes to call their own. Digging deeper, their wishes are so much more. Chloe's 4. Her mom's in the hospital after being severely beaten by her husband, not for the first time. Chloe's wish is that her mom will get better and that the fighting will stop. Her wish is about to be granted. With the help of our social worker, her mom found the courage to say, enough. Chloe and her mom will be back together again soon, facing a new life, violent-free. Today, 48 toddlers arrived at FACES, our early childhood education program, eager for hugs and high fives from their teachers and to see their friends again. Another 36 families this week will receive a home visit, learning to better care for their children and themselves. Our toddlers' hopes are little ones, that they will get to sing Itsy Bitsy Spider yet again today, that they'll have spaghetti for lunch, and that their mom will be there when nap time's over. Their parents' hopes are so much bigger. Lisa grew up in foster care. Her hope is to be a better mom for Angel than her mom was for her. She's well on her way to making that wish a reality. She just celebrated 6 months of sobriety, passed her GED, and for the first time truly enjoys her son and proudly documents every developmental milestone Angel achieves. Today, 52 children are part of a family. And when they go to bed tonight in their own bed, they'll know that they're loved and that their dreams will be happy ones. Their families are Crisis Nursery's foster families, an incredible group of individuals and couples who have opened not only their homes, but their hearts to children whose families have too often failed them. Just like the children and families, it's our mission to serve at Crisis Nursery. We all have wishes, hopes, and dreams. And I'm thrilled to tell you that some of them were answered last year. Facing declining revenues, we faced the real prospect of closing our FACES program. Wishing and hoping, we took a leap and applied for an early Head Start grant last summer. Funds from our luncheon last year kept FACES doors open until our dreams were realized when we received a 2-year grant in December. FACES had a new lease on life, and 84 children and their families are now receiving the help and support they need during the early, most critical years of life. If any of you doubted that federal stimulus money saved or created jobs, I have 31 employees of FACES I'd love for you to meet, for they can attest that indeed they did. Last fall, a grant from First Things First ensured that families in crisis with the courage to ask for help would continue to have access to our voluntary shelter and day respite program for their children. First Things First also funds our 3 teams of Healthy Families home visitors who last year brought hope and connections to more than 200 families assessed at risk for child abuse. The need for responsive, community-based services like those we offer at Crisis Nursery has never been greater. For far too many of our children and families are facing challenges that threaten their very health and well-being. Arizona's poverty rate rose by an alarming 25% between just 2007 and 2009, leaving 1 in 5 of our neighbors living in poverty. The picture for our youngest children is even bleaker. Last year, 42% children 0 through 5 in Central Phoenix lived in poverty, and in neighborhoods with our city's highest child abuse, domestic violence, and violent crime rates. And the working poor, trying to keep their families out of poverty, childcare subsidies and access to affordable health insurance for their children has been virtually eliminated. At Crisis Nursery, we are seeing more and more families finding themselves for the first time unable to meet even their children's most basic needs. We will all be poorer if we simply stand by and let the wishes and hopes and dreams these families have for their children evaporate. An additional threat is now on the horizon for our youngest citizens. Proposition 302 is on the ballot this year. If it passes, the funding we receive for our children's shelter and Healthy Families teams will be wiped away. But even more devastating, more than $150 million in annual funding and a service delivery system providing early childhood services that has already reached 330,000 Arizona children under the age of 6 will disappear. With what we now know about brain development and the lifelong impact, both good and bad, of early childhood experiences, we simply can't wait until kindergarten, when intervention is more expensive and less effective. So today, I have a wish, a hope, and a dream of my own.